Hi guys, today I'm going to record an updated tutorial about the best way to set up your TFAR so that you can step up to a different net lightning fast. This tutorial will be in two parts. The first part will be for people like myself who normally listen to two nets. This can be either squad and platoon net, team and squad net, etc. The second part will be for team to ICs, those who don't normally need to communicate on more than one net. There's a quick footnote at the end showing the same setup on long-range radios for the JTACs among us. Throughout this video, I will use frequencies relevant to my current squad, Havoc 3.3. Timestamps and frequencies for reference will be in the description box down below. Note that this only works out of the box if you have a keyboard with a numpad. 10 keyless folks will need to change a few more keybinds to make this work for them, but it's totally doable. First, people who normally listen to two nets. When you configure your radio, you need to consider which net is your pivot net. This will be the net which does not change if you have to step up. For example, if you're a team leader, you will retain squad net and have either your team net or platoon net depending on if you're stepped up or not. So, we're going to open up our radio and we're going to program in our primary net into channel 1. This is going to be, as per normal, your team net. Into channel 2, we are then going to go ahead and set up our squad net, again, as normal. Then, in channel 3, we're going to go ahead and program our step up frequency. So we have our step up frequency, our pivot frequency, and then our normal primary. Now, with our radio closed, and paying attention to the TFAR prompt in the bottom right of the screen, we can see that as I use my transmit keys, it gives me either my primary net or my pivot net, the same as you guys see every day of the week. Now, using my numpad and simply selecting numpad 3, you'll see that now my primary transmit gives me platoon net, my secondary transmit gives me squad net. I've now stepped up. At a point in time where your actual is back up, we can then go ahead and swap our frequency back over. You're back on team net, you're back on squad net, and you never had to open a radio. Just have to remember that your pivot net is always going to be your alternate transmit, which is Tango by default. Your primary transmit is the one that will change whenever you step up or down. It's a little bit more complex if you're normally a team to IC. First up, we need to reverse your keybinds. So coming into Escape, Configure, and Controls, we're going to come into our Configure add-ons and select our TFAR add-on. Scrolling down in the list, we're going to find our transmit options for our short-range radio, change our primary transmit from caps lock to Tango, and our additional from Tango to caps lock. Now, back in our radio, we'll have our team net set up, but this time our team net is going to be our alternate in our left ear only. Our secondary channel can be any unused frequency. Anything about 150 is fine, as we only use frequencies up to the mid 130s. Then, in your third channel is going to be your step up frequency, your squad net, for those times when your team leader goes down. Just make sure that we have our channels sides up correctly, and we leave our radio set to channel 2. So now our transmit gives us our team net as we would normally have, and you can see that when we transmit on our secondary key, we get basically an empty frequency. We're talking to no one. Utilizing our 3 key on our numpad, we can set that to our squad frequency, and now you can easily radio on that frequency and inform your squad leader that your team leader is down. Once your team leader has come back up, simply press 2 on your numpad, and now that channel goes to absolutely no one, and you have at no stage lost access to your team net, so that you can keep everyone in check while your actual is down. The process on a long-range radio is basically the same. Utilizing our first channel as our additional on 70, and then setting channel 2 to 79, And channel 3275 enables us to utilize the exact same principles. I forgot to set one of those 279. Okay. But on our long range radio. So now using our control transmit keys give us access to the frequencies we've got set up, and we can use our control numpad keys to easily switch between our CSAR and Airbase Operations channels for those times when we are either on or off the airbase, and at no stage will we lose access to our primary air-to-ground net. It's always going to be right there on the same keybind, regardless of what's going on. That concludes today's tutorial. I hope it helped. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below.